High Elves got some nice buffs in this recent balance update, and mostly cost adjustments. They did get like some minor HP buffs. Alith Anar now has homing on his Moonbow item, which should make it a little bit more consistent. Let's see how they do against the Tomb Kings. This is Flying Taco versus Scarbrand here in a test match the other day. I think it was actually patch day a couple days ago now when I'm recording this. That Flying Taco and Scarbrand were fighting this one. I was hanging out there in chat watching them and some others play some games live while I was doing some work for my day job, and it was quite exciting. Decided to cast this one for you all right off the bat. We are going to see those Sisters of Avalorn taking some pretty serious damage from the Chosen of the Gods. We've got a front line here of Skeleton Warriors, etc. on the Sphinx, which did get a turn speed nerf, but should still be very good. Necropolis Knights and Skeleton Spears on the flanks here. Yeah, you can see the War Lions kind of forming up to try and get an engagement there. Those Sisters of Avalorn also got a little bit of a buff. I forget exactly what they got, but they got something. They are taking some major damage, though, right now. And, yeah, definitely getting punished pretty badly here by Incantation of Vengeance and other things. Ooh, Moonbow. Side shots into those Necropolis Knights actually does some pretty solid damage. They did get the Incantation of Protection to protect them against the armor piercing of the War Lions there. Other War Lions going to rear charge. It's some pretty good damage, but still not the most cost-effective engagement. Rangers also coming in from the Vanguard. Haven't really done a lot, not really contributing much, but a nice burning head in the front line will burn through some of those skeletons, allow the Silverin Guards to prevail. Silverin Guards got a nice cost reduction, making them probably one of the best mid-tier defensive infantry in the game right now. They've got spell resistance, they've got good armor, decent weapon strength, anti-large, great melee defense. Yeah, a lot going for them, definitely. Expert charge defense as well, which isn't going to matter at all in this matchup, but certainly in some matchups where you might face high charge infantry or stuff like, you know, hounds or other things. They'll shrug off the charge bonus of those, as long as they are infantry sized. But yeah, nobles swinging around here to try and get an engagement on Cetra. Right now, the high elf defensive lines are somewhat holding, but they're not really defending anything anymore as the Sisters of Avalorn have been dealt with. They were able to do some damage in return to the Chosen of the Gods, but a little countercharge here from the Lions trying to disrupt the Necropolis Knights. But this Silverin Guard here is in a huge amount of trouble as they're being devoured by quite a bit of quality. The Noble fighting alongside, at least providing some encourage, but the War Lions can't take it anymore. Kitties are going to rout out into the distance here as the Construct Cat, you know, just what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, stunts up on him, kind of flexes on him, showing him who's boss. But you see an Incantation of Vengeance, great damage and speed debuff there on the Puremain Company as they're trying to get after the Necropolis Knights. Will definitely not allow them to catch the Necropolis Knights, but yeah, the Puremain Company also getting a little bit out of position, perhaps, to support the rest of the army here. But right now, it's just slowly grinding through these skeletons. The High Elves are having a tough time. Chosen of the Gods do just feasting on value as they fire from a distance there, just picking their targets at will. See some of the Rangers getting punished pretty heavily there. We also get a little Ushabti summon as well. Gonna get pulled up here to go with some anti-infantry. One of the Necropolis Knights is down. Some War Lions actually out there in the distance get a favorable engagement on a 2v1. It's not super cost-effective. I guess maybe the two of them is, yeah, a little bit more than a Necropolis Knight, so not exactly cost-effective, but still tactically, I guess, is helpful. The other Necropolis Knight here, Incantation of Protection. The High Elf leadership of the Sisters of Avalorn allows them to come in, get a few more volleys before they are routed for a final time. But yeah, less than 400 value on them at the end of the day. Definitely want something more from such an expensive unit, but let's see. Cetra is definitely running for his life right now. It might not seem like it, but the Noble's chasing with anti-large. He does turn around to fight the Noble 1v1, and this should be a pretty good engagement. Alith Anar was getting some good bow fire in, but right now has to kind of run as well, try and reposition here. Yeah, the Noble, I said Cetra was running for his life, but real quick, as I said that, it's going to completely turn around, but a little fireball there, blasts in, doesn't hit Cetra, but does hit some of his bodyguards here, the cavalry. But it's not looking great for the High Elves right now. The Tomb Kings are quite strong, especially in the hands of a capable player like Scarbrand. And yeah, we see here Incantation of Protection as the War Lions charge in. Again, basically no damage on the charge there from the Lions as they hit the Chosen there. Moonbow comes in, does actually hit. Okay, so of takeaways from the High Elves, Moonbow definitely seems like it's more worthwhile. I mean, I didn't track this specific value, but both were hits on high-value targets that did a pretty good amount of damage. I'm going to assume it did at least 200 gold worth of value. But yeah, that's not bad. At least, you know, consistently can hit targets with that ability, which is the biggest issue with a lot of those magic missile abilities, is just when they miss, lose out on a lot of value, and you just feel real bad about it. But Noble gets broken despite the Colossal Strike. The War Lions here also get broken, but Alith Anar is going to go into kite mode, and Skarbrand, you know, channeling his inner corn, getting a little aggressive here, is going to chase with Cetra. And Alith Anar actually is fast enough that even, yeah, Cetra takes a few shots before he catches up. He is eventually going to catch up, but because of the pursuit mechanics, I don't know, well, he doesn't actually knock him over there. Turns to charge the Rangers. Going to probably tear route them away pretty quickly, but that shot sails over the cat there. It was a little bit hard to see probably for you, but yeah, Alith Anar gonna, ooh, does not get knocked over there. Actually gets the little counterattack dagger before Cetra gets his first attack animation. Little point-blank shot there. Sisters of Avalon, I said they were routed for a final time. They were in fact not. Still have 20 models here, and are going to try and accrue whatever value they can at this point. See a fireball swooping in from the side there. So, yeah, Taco going all in to try and finish Cetra off here. Will he be able to, and will it end up mattering? Right now, it's certainly putting the balance of power back towards the middle. If he can get Cetra down and just try and win on leadership, you know, Alith Anar's definitely no pushover. He's got Elven stats, 51 melee defense, only 30 armor is a little bit rough. And, of course, he does have a lot of armor-piercing enemies, but, yeah, the Pure Main Company still have 50% HP. Ooh, they are going to take a nasty open field charge here, though, as Alith Anar tries to finish off. Chosen of the Gods also have a little bit of ammunition as well. That is very rough, but, yeah, that impact charge in the side there just crushes the Pure Main Company, unfortunately. When they do start to fight back, they should get some hits in, but the Necropolis Knights have so much mass. Yeah, disrupted as they were, they're going to tear route away there. Not able to offer any kind of real resistance. It is one downside of loose formation. They are somewhat more susceptible to charges in a situation like that. Like, really have a poor ability to mass block at all. But, ooh, Cetra here. Not able to overcome the high stats of Alith Anar. You can see those melee attack animations just whiffing repeatedly as Alith Anar takes 0 damage. And Pure Main Company, yeah, I mean, they're getting some hits in. Necropolis Knights lost a model there, but they're going to be able to cycle charge very effectively here. And even beyond them, there's still 2 units of Ushabti, about a quarter HP each. So even the Cetra goes down here. We'll see. It'll keep the High Elves alive, certainly, but it's looking very rough for them. Chosen the Gods also, at this point, going to be charging into melee. At least they are out of ammunition. But Caster gets routed here. You do see one last little trickle self-heal and physical resistance for Cetra there, but it's not going to stave off Rumbling, as Alith Anar is just too good of a combatant in melee for the exhausted War Sphinx. That being said, there's not much left besides Alith Anar, so we're going to pop this into fast forward. Cinematic fast forward, of course. As Alith Anar finally fells Cetra, and he's going to get circle beaten by Ushabti. And this is the real killer right here, is the fact that these Ushabti actually have anti-infantry, even though they only have 17 melee attack. They do have plus 12 bonus versus infantry. I say 17 because of exhaustion. But more importantly, they can actually surround and stagger lock Alith Anar. And yeah, those who are attacking in the side and rear arc of Alith Anar are bypassing that high melee defense. So he does actually get loose here. He's going to try and kite just a little bit as those Silver and Guard fight as well. Unfortunately, the High Elf leadership gives out. And I'm not sure, honestly, if the leadership gives out there. I think the High Elf stats, I don't know, with that pursuing extra Silver and Guard, yeah, there's a slim chance, I guess, just purely on dice rolls that the High Elves can pull that out. Ends up being super close there at the end. But what a game, man. Alith Anar is definitely a champ there. And we'll check out his kit after the fact. I think he basically just had Moonbow. The Noble, I remember, with Colossal Strikes, probably about 1,200. So that seems reasonably cost-effective on his part. Yeah, Silver and Guard did a great job. Pure Main Company did struggle a little bit, as did the Sisters of Averlorn, kind of the elite infantry curse of being targeted by all the elite stuff of the Tomb Kings, which just blew them up. Shabti traded quite well. Necropolis Knights traded quite well. Just in general, yeah, decent anti-large, but sort of a lack of AP in a sense. Skarbrand at least was able to, from a win condition perspective, get those AP targets down that he needed to. Was very, very close there at the end, but I say very close. Quite a few Necropolis Knights and Ushabti left, so yeah, overall, Isles are in a better position, certainly after this patch. I would broadly call them one of the winners of this patch, and I guess it's officially been confirmed at this point that they are going to be with Slaanesh and Norska in the next DLC. I say next, of course there will be sort of mid-patches in between that. I'm sure you've all heard the news by now, but yeah, Alith Anar here, honestly, I think he just had the Moonbow, I believe. Yeah, that seems right. Maybe he also had, like, Tark in the Skies. I'd have to go back and recheck the replay. But yeah, even just with Moonbow, 1100 points, he can do a pretty good amount of damage, reasonably cost-effective. I say reasonably cost-effective, definitely pay for himself, and then some in the right circumstance and in the right matchups. As I sort of think through matchups where he can do well, historically one where Alith Anar has excelled is versus Skaven, where he can stand at a distance, try and counter-skirmish their long-range units, and he is relatively safe from pretty much everyone except, like, maybe Snitch, or, like, Queek will mess him up if he gets him in a melee, but he can usually outrun Snitch, Queek. Snitch can kind of sneak up on him, which is a little bit of a problem, but the rest of the Skaven characters, and just broadly, they don't have a lot of tools that can kill him, besides just counter-sniping him with, Jazales, I guess, but that is one thing, because he has so long a range, you can kind of keep him at a distance. And like we saw there, can be solved against some other factions as well, even factions you might not necessarily think you're going to have to stand off and shoot, but yeah, like Dwarfs is another one where he's very safe. You can just stand back and get basically all the value from his bow, and now that the Moonbow has a little better homing, it'll be better against mobile targets. Oh yeah, it seems like Alith Anar will be a solid choice in some circumstances, and then we see here Silver and Guard getting, I swear they got a cost reduction. Were they not the same price as White Lions? Basically just like a small upgrade over White Lions, but yeah, they have very, very solid stats all the way around. I forget all the other changes that High Elves received, but regardless, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.